Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this month's Catholic Charities Works, where we highlight programs and services of Catholic Charities of Central Colorado. I'm Rochelle Schlortt. I'm the Chief Communications Officer here with Catholic Charities. And today I am joined with a VITA Team for our tax preparation services. I want to introduce Karen Augenthaler, Martha Lewis, David Green, and we're going to talk about taxes today. So thank you for being here. We appreciate it. We are officially in tax season, where folks are trying to get their taxes completed, and we offer this great service. And I want to talk about that today. So can you tell me a little bit about the program? And so we're going to start with you, Martha.
All right. Yes, thank you for allowing me to be here today. I am a volunteer of Pikes Peak United Way. I run a volunteer income tax assistance site out of the Marian House. We started on February 2nd, and we go through April 15th. Our appointments are available right now, and we are open from 9 o'clock in the morning to 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Wednesdays and Fridays. The important thing to know is this is free. It's a free service for those taxpayers, which are you, that have an income of $58,000 and below. So if you want to make an appointment, you can go to the Catholic Charities website. You can also go to Pikes Peak United Way website. Or if you don't have internet access, you can call 211 and they will send an appointment for you.
That's great. That's great. You know, Catholic Charities has been doing this program for a while.
Yes.
And it's so important because it can be really expensive to get your taxes done.
Yes.
And I think for many families, you know, a refund is the biggest influx of cash, unexpected cash, that they get. And so other people, they plan on that tax refund to apply it towards, you know, debt or medical or things like that. So this is a really important service that we're offering, and it's great that it's free. So David, can you tell us a little bit about the program and maybe how it's changed over the years?
Well, I think a lot has changed over the years, as we well know and we can see. I don't think the program has changed so much over the years as people needing to get their taxes, and I think that's everybody's kind of go-to after a while. But with the pandemic, I think in the last year, over the last couple of years, we've seen a lot of people needing that extra income because maybe they've been laid off from work or they're behind in bills because they were sick at a particular time during the pandemic. So I think as we move forward, I think having VITA here, having the privilege of having VITA here to help people who are mainly on fixed incomes. We see a lot of seniors. We see a lot of college students that are coming through to get this service done because it's great to have that little extra cash that may be needed at this particular time.
Perfect. Well, you know, it's interesting. Martha had put together a report after the tax season last year. And one of the things that struck me is that we've had about a 500% increase in terms of not only people coming to Marian House, but then the amount of money that comes back to our clients in terms of refunds, and then all that goes back into the community. So, you know, that's a really amazing thing. So, Karen, you know, you work in this program.
I do.
You volunteered in a variety of Catholic Charities programs, but you work in this program. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do in this capacity and how do the clients feel about this service?
I'm sure they're very grateful for the service because when you look at the prices of the professional preparers out there, H&R Block and Hewitt and stuff, it's so expensive. This is a lot of money for them to shell out $350 to fill out a simple 1040 return. So we're providing a really valuable service for people in that respect. They're very grateful. They're very grateful.
So what kind of work do you do when someone walks in the door? How do you help them?
Okay, well, like Martha said, they have an appointment, and when they come in, she will meet with them, and she will gather all the material that they brought with them, and she'll bring them up to us. We're not actually with the client. They're down because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
We used to be, but because of COVID now, we're upstairs. She'll bring the material up for us. We have really, really good software that we're using. We're all certified. We've been trained on how to use this software, how to prepare these returns, and then we just input the data from what they've given us, and we go through and we, create a return for them, which is then reviewed by another preparer, and then Martha will pick it up and go down and further review it with the client after it's done and get them to sign off on it, because ultimately it's their responsibility how the return's prepared.
Well, and I have to tell you that, we all know that this program wouldn't exist without our volunteers. Because when you start thinking about the value that all of the volunteers bring to do their time, to be trained, to be able to prepare those taxes, I mean, that's really, really wonderful. David, what kind of things or how can people sign up for the services?
What we would like for people to do is to contact 211, and you can either go to the website, or there is the phone number 211. You can dial them that way. If you choose Marian House as your location to have it done, they'll probably prompt you and get you set up to come have your taxes completed at the Marian House. They're going to be offered every Wednesday and Friday from February through April. And appointments are made between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. An appointment probably lasts about 30 minutes.
But again, to recap, how you schedule an appointment by either calling 211, or you can go online to Catholic Charities, and we have a page called ccharities.org/free tax prep. So you could go there, and that gives you the link to United Way to set up for an appointment. So Karen, why don't you tell everyone what are the things that someone needs to bring with them to get their taxes prepared?
Okay, well, it's very important that they bring a picture ID, like a driver's license. We also need a Social Security card. And if you're filing a joint return, I think both of the parties need to be there. Not necessarily the children, if you have children, although you need cards for them. You need to bring us any type of W-2 that you receive, any 1099 NEC, 1099-R, statements like that from the IRS. If you've been getting the advanced child tax credit, you're going to get a letter from the IRS. You need to bring that in with you. If you had the health care coverage through the marketplace, you'll get like a 1095-C or a form like that. You need to bring that in. And really important to me is last year's tax return. It's really, really helpful to have that. So, that is the basic type of information that we're going to need.
Okay.
And what will happen is if you show up without your Social Security card or you don't have a picture ID, there's only so much we can do. We cannot prepare your return. We might be able to start it, but we're not going to be able to finish it. You're going to have to come back. So it's easier just to have all of that to begin with, gathered up and brought in. Yeah.
Well, and it's also really important. I mean, I don't know about you, but what I notice is that I don't get all of my forms in the mail any longer. So I have to know what I'm looking for and then go onto those websites.
Use last year's return.
Exactly.
Use last year's return, and that will just sort of clue you along.
That's great. So, Martha, I'm going to give you the last word in a minute here to really talk about, VITA and the mobile sites and things like that. But, is there anything else that, our viewers might want to know about the tax prep? Do you think we've covered it, or is there any other things that we may have forgotten?
I think that they need to know that this is a service that we provide, that we're happy to provide to that segment of the population, and they shouldn't be nervous. They should just pick up the phone and call, because putting it off and not following your return is just going to come back. It's not going to go away, and it's just going to be worse.
Right.
Even if you didn't follow your return last year, we can go back and do the previous year. So they just need to steel themselves, call 211, make the appointment, and come in. And you would be surprised at the amount of people that don't know about this service. I have told a lot of people to call 211, and they didn't know that this was a free service that was offered. So It's great. It's very
Right.
special.
And it's key to think about that it's it's 58,000. So 58,000 or less in income, you can qualify for this program.
Oh, that's right.
And a lot of times when people hear, the program's going to happen at the Marian House, they immediately
They
think
think
of
it's low income and that you have to be jobless or not at all.
right.
58,000 is a good chunk of change.
Mhm. It is. So do you want to kind of wrap us up with, where people, other than, what we talked about in Marian House, I know you have a mobile VITA side.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about that.
I do. Well, actually, before I talk about
Mhm.
that, I do want people to understand that all of us are volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
We give up our time because we want to serve others. But fun fact that many people don't know is VITA sites are 94% accuracy, which means we are better than the other paid organizations.
Right.
So you can look at that in your fear factor of coming in to get your taxes done.
Because we have a lot of review
We-
procedures that
Right.
we go
Yeah,
through.
and we care about you. We're certified. The IRS recognizes us as certified preparers. So you don't have to be afraid. If you have questions, we can answer those questions. If you have questions ahead of time, then contact us and I can answer questions ahead of time. I do taxes all year long. The other volunteers do not, and I work out of Catholic Charities. So,
And we do taxes for ourselves too.
We do,
So
yeah.
we understand where you are
Exactly.
and what your fears are.
Exactly. So one of the cool things that I started last year, because of COVID, so there are good things that came out of COVID, was a mobile VITA site. And my base is Catholic Charities, so there's actually credit for all these things. So, last year I went out, what it is I go out to an organization. So the organization that I went to last year was Family Life Services. Some of you may know what that is and some of you may not. It's basically a place where families can go and be safe. So I actually went to the families with my team and we did their taxes.
It was fun.
Oh, you went too, so you were there,
That's right.
yeah.
I was
So,
there too. It was fun. It's our
and-
taxmobile, right?
Yes, our tax mobile. So we try to. So our site doesn't stay at Catholic Charities. I actually pack it up every night, and we don't leave anything there. So small footprint. That way we're not disrupting anything. Same thing with the mobile site. So we want to expand this year because we did really well last year. So if any of you know of places that you would like us to come, no, I'm not going everywhere, but because there's only so much time in a day. But we definitely want to serve as many as we can. So we're not the only VITA site out there. I would say we are the best, but that's just me. That goes without saying, right?
Exactly.
So please do come to Catholic Charities. And if you have any questions, again, don't be afraid. If you've gotten something, a letter from the IRS.
Right. All the more reason to come.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid. And if for any reason you can't get through, you can walk into the Marian House. They have my business card. They will give it to you. And you can call, my phone number is on the business card. So I'm here for you. My team is here for you. So please do come and get your taxes done.
So if someone wants to call and try to set up a new venue, do you want to give them a phone number to call, or do you want them to?
Sure.
How do you want them to contact you?
You can contact. I have a phone number. Yes, it is 719-323-4991. That is my personal cell, and you will get me if you call. So I don't have a problem with that being out there in the public. So if you do have a venue that you would like us to come and visit, please remember it must be low income, 58,000 or below. So if you are a corporation that's making hundreds of thousands of dollars, don't call. Well, you can call. We can talk.
We can negotiate.
Yeah, exactly. But yes, I love this program. As you can see, I love working with Catholic Charities. They are a wonderful organization. So again, don't be afraid. Contact us. We would love to do your taxes. Or just have a conversation.
Right.
Well, I just want to thank all of y'all for joining us today. I mean, I think this has been really informative, and I think it's such a great service. that, we want as many people as possible to know about it. So, if you want to get your taxes done, make sure that you go onto our site. Again, that's ccharities.org/free tax prep. And we will see you next month for another installment of Catholic Charities Works. Programming note is that we have a huge fundraiser coming up. It's called the St. Pat's Gala. It will take place on March 12th. If you are interested in buying tickets, it's a very fun event. It's dinner, dancing, music, live and silent auctions. We would love to have you. Again, just go to our website, and that is Charities CC St. Pat's Gala. Thank you for joining us. Good night.